It's hard to believe it, but almost 5 years ago to the day, we were standing on this very bridge and I proposed to my wife. And now here we are 5 years later with our 2 kids, enjoying a day at Pullen Park. Pullen Park is a gem of Raleigh and a throwback to another era. You can almost feel the past when you step through the gate. If you go early in the morning when the park opens, you'll be able to catch old tunes from the jazz age over the loudspeakers. This beloved city park also happens to be the oldest public park in North Carolina. Depending on who you ask, Pullen ranks somewhere around the 5th oldest operating amusement park in the United States and the 16th oldest in the world. It's one stop on the East Coast Greenway, a planned 3,000-mile network of continuous trails that will connect Maine to Key West, Florida. Much of this path will be out-of-use railways converted to pedestrian and cycling trails. About 1/3 of this project has already been completed as of this video. Pullen Park makes for a great outing for families and lovers young and old. There's plenty to do here, including a variety of great playgrounds, kiddie boats, and paddle boats on the pond. The mini train is a popular attraction for the kids, but the centerpiece of the park is its historic carousel. Pullen Park was founded in 1887 when Richard Stanhope Pullen, a wealthy developer and businessman, donated 80 acres to the city of Raleigh for the recreation and enjoyment of its citizens. A quiet man who mostly kept to himself, Stanhope Pullen wanted to create this gift for the community, but he didn't want to be acknowledged for it. He didn't even want the park to be named after him, and the reason I'm not showing you his portrait is that he never wanted one created. Some of Pullen Park's early amusements featured the city's first public swimming pool, for men only, that was built in 1891. By 1895, women were allowed in. Jim Crow laws of the South prohibited the use of the pool by African Americans at the time, but they were allowed access to the park and for the most part were able to use its other amenities. From 1899 to 1938, the park included a small zoo. It wasn't uncommon in that day for public parks to feature zoos. The Pullen Zoo at first only contained 2 raccoons, but eventually grew to house an Australian owl, minks, monkeys, alligators, and even bears. A steam-powered merry-go-round was added to the park's attractions in 1915, but it was replaced only 5 years later with the Carousel carousel that now stands there today. In 1920, the carousel was purchased from nearby competition in Glenwood South, a now forgotten park called Bloomsbury. Today, the carousel is regarded as one of the best surviving works of the Pennsylvania Carousel Company, owned by Gustav Dentzel. Dentzel carousels were the go-to carousel for amusement parks at the turn of the century, and this one, built around 1900, is one of the oldest still in operation. The 52 hand-carved animals that circle the carousel were carved by master craftsman Salvatore Cernigliaro. The carousel features not only 30 horses, but a colorful variety of other animals, including lions, goats, pigs, and even ostriches, which are our daughter's favorite. The miniature train is also a favorite with the kids. This C.P. Huntington train is a 1/3 size train that was added to the park in 1950. The engine is a near-exact replica of an actual locomotive that was built in 1863 and now resides on display in Sacramento, California. There's also kiddie boats for the little ones, although we couldn't get our kids to ride on them. There are paddle boats for bigger kids, available to rent, although these weren't running at the time we went. The carousel, train, and boat rides all require purchased tickets that are fairly cheap, but the park can be enjoyed for free as well. The various playground spaces have some really nice equipment and variety, and you could spend a whole afternoon just on those. If you get hungry, there's an on-site outdoor cafe that exceeded our expectations in terms of offerings. Aside from pizza and burgers, there's a caprese sandwich, a cubano, and even a Monte Cristo. There's some delicious dessert options as well, but our kids were all in on the Loco Pops. If you want to do your own picnic, the park offers a half a dozen shelters available to rent. You can even drop by and say hello to the sheriff without a gun, Andy Taylor, and his son Opie. The beloved characters from the 1960s Andy Griffith Show were permanently donated by the cable network TV Land.
The Andy Griffith Show, starring Andy Griffith.
Which caused some controversy. Residents of Griffith's hometown of Mount Airy felt the statue should be located there. This apparently got so heated that the statue of Andy and Opie was repeatedly vandalized. Although now that Mount Airy has been given its own Andy Griffith statue, things seem to have calmed down. There's something here for everyone, and that's the whole point. Pullen Park is a charming community resource that we should all take advantage of. And hey, who knows? You might even get engaged here. If you made it this far, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Your support means everything to me, and thanks.